Morning, everybody. What's happening? Hello, Simpue.
Morning.
How's your Friday looking so far?
It's looking really, really good. It is warm, so I'm not complaining about the weather. I am happy. I have a smile on my face. Like, it's a good day to have a good day.
Amazing. Good. I like that a lot. Yeah, I think there are lots and lots of people who are very excited about the fact that it is definitely going to be. There's a long weekend next weekend, which is also a good reason for people to cheer up and to feel a little bit better. I see that our benevolent government have just told us that load shedding will be downgraded to stage 5 today. I mean, how lucky are we? From stage 6 to stage 5. I promise you, said the abusive husband to his wife, I promise I won't hit you so much this weekend. Come back home.
No,
That's
usually
kind of how
don't
that
they
is.
start with the I promise I'll never do this again. If you just don't make me angry. Just
Yeah,
don't make
yeah.
me angry. That's
That's the
then
relationship we have with our government. That's the exactly. But we did a lot of that yesterday with Pumi in terms of talking about our problems. We're going to talk today about fun things. We're going to have a happy time, and we're going to get into the weekend. So, what are you actually
yes.
planning for this weekend? Because when you get excited about the weekend, then I know there's something happening.
Oh yes, so I'm will be attending a baby gender reveal party. So I've
Oh,
never been to one of those, so I'm super excited to attend like that. And what's funny
don't get
is
your
then
hopes up.
later
By the way,
on,
it's not that exciting. I mean, all it is. I mean, it's sometimes exciting for the parents. Do they know, or are they revealing it to their friends?
to the friends, so the
No.
parents are not going to be there. It's so I feel like this is also just an excuse to party, even though
Okay.
baby girl can't be drinking, but this is just an excuse for us as the girls to get together, have some drinks on her behalf, because ain't no way we're gonna link up without having a few, drinks. But there's still a baby shower, so I'm a bit confused now because I'm like, usually,
Yeah.
are we buying two gifts for one
Mhm.
person? I I,
Yeah.
I don't understand. And what gift do you buy for a gender reveal party? Like,
You know what you do? You don't buy a gift for it because it's bullshit. They're on the take.
okay,
They,
okay,
they're trying to get something for nothing. I wouldn't bother. If they really want a party with their friends, then maybe you can supply some of the alcohol or whatever, and then that's it. Because otherwise, I think it's just like they're after free stuff.
yeah, it gets a lot. I'm just like, excuse me,
Oh,
ma'am. Like, my life does not revolve around you and your child that you decided to have. I just want to have a good
right.
time. And buying 4 or 5 gifts, and baby gifts are expensive. So
Very, very expensive.
yeah, so that's all
Okay,
I'm getting
so
up to this weekend. What are you getting up to?
um, Jesus, it's busy this weekend. So today I'm doing a little talk at this business. It's this big business meeting that a whole lot of people are going to be at this afternoon. So I have to deliver some kind of useful information to them, which I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe they'll chase me out with pitchforks. Who knows? It's going to be very exciting. And then then I've got then I'm getting into a car. We've got this guy called Singita who is going to drive me all the way to Sun City. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. There's a huge fundraising and awareness effort by Princess Charlene of Monaco for people in this country die unnecessarily. They drown in rivers and dams and things because they can't swim. Right? People
Mm,
people don't teach their kids how to swim, and that's
mhm.
probably mostly because they don't grow up with swimming pools or any of that stuff. So she's decided, even though she lives in Monaco now and she's a princess, that she actually wants to help solve this problem because there's so many people who needlessly, if they just could swim, they would be okay. I mean, they're not drowning in like the ocean. It's like little expanses of water, and it
Mhm.
could all be better. And she's got a water bike challenge, and they're doing a whole lot of they're doing
I
a
love
big
it.
dinner, and then there's stuff all weekend, but I'm only going to be able to go for tonight, and then tomorrow morning back from Sun City, and then off to the south of Joburg for a wedding, which is going to be Saturday afternoon, evening, and then hopefully Sunday I can do nothing because I'll be pretty
That's an
ready for it.
itinerary and a
But
half,
it's going to be good.
Gareth. Like,
Yeah, covering a lot of distance. Let's just say that.
yeah. If there's one thing I do always pressurize my friends to do is like learn how to swim. I'm that person who's like, it's time. It's we need to stop black people to go to pool parties and then we don't get into the pool. So I'm like, we're stopping that. It ends with me. Everybody must learn how to swim. That's a very, very important skill. In fact, if you don't know how to swim and you want to approach me, please stop. Like, no. Because I like water and I like swimming and I can just so learn how to swim, y'all. First get your
Plus,
license and then learn how to swim.
plus it's one of the best things about summer. Like it is one of the coolest things you can do is to be able to cool off in a swimming pool. I have
Mhm.
a leak in my swimming pool at home, which I have had to fix, which is a pain in the ass and very expensive. And then the guys are not coming back to me, so my pool is getting green, which is gross. It looks terrible, and I'm annoyed because I could have maybe, I think it's probably a little bit cold still, but I could have maybe already had a swim. But now the thing, it's just sitting there and it's costing me money, so I'm not thrilled. But we'll sort it out. Um, Apparently, Congo Chris says he told Gogo Maweni to send bad weather to Sun City this weekend. That's what he said. So I don't know if that's true, but I hope it's not. If you and the witches are talking, Chris, we're in big trouble. Um,
Yeah.
so lots of very happy people in the comments this morning. Hardy Dave says, I think Charlene went to school in Benoni. Yes, she did. I was like,
East
why can't
Rand.
they do this thing? Why can't they do this thing in Benoni? And they're like, well, because we need to have a place with lots of water. So I'm like, but Benoni's got, haven't you guys got those lakes and things?
It's not for swimming. No. They do have a
Is it like,
public pool, one
isn't it?
public pool, I think, but those lakes are not for swimming, Gareth. If you want to kill kids, stand up there. That water is dodge. Even me, I wouldn't go into that water. I'm like, I need to see the
'Cause we,
bottom. I need.
so we
So
we
yeah,
give the East Rand a lot of shit, but you guys have produced some amazing people, you
it's
know?
where it's at. The
Yeah,
coolest people are from the East Rand. I promise you, the dopest people are from the East Rand. The people that you want to be associated with are from the East Rand. I'm just
right.
saying, stop giving it some hate and give it some love.
And you wouldn't swim in those lakes for all the money in the world.
Oh, hell no. I love my life. I'm not trying to get no unknown disease and what. I'm just, there's certain things I know that I can do, and there's certain things I know I can't do. And swimming in those lakes, I cannot do. No, sir.
I think there are probably monsters at the bottom of those lakes. That's what I'm
I'm not
thinking.
even trying to find out. I'm like, whatever is going on there, do you, boo boo? It has nothing to do with me at all.
Somebody says the Puss Club was actually invented in the East Rand. Is
Oh,
that true?
I don't know about that. I
Probably.
don't know. Um, I just want to claim the good things. That's it.
Well,
That's it.
whatever you're up to this weekend, I hope it's going to be fun and definitely a weekend of better weather. Although
Mhm.
I saw that the Cape, and particularly along the sort of southern Cape, from sort of Plettenberg Bay along all the way to PE, apparently it's going to be windy as hell,
Ah,
and they're expecting like very choppy water in the sea and all that stuff.
mm,
So I don't know.
mm.
If that is the worst thing about your weekend, then just stay out of the sea. They said if you are, what do they say in the weather when there's when the dangerous seas, like if you're on a water vehicle like a boat or so, I don't know how they phrased it, but they said something like a waterborne vehicle, then you've got to take extra care or whatever. I'm like, what? Because the map looked, the map of South Africa, they show
Ye
these big waves along the coast, so you're like, wow, okay, lot of choppy, dangerous seas, big swells, all that kind of stuff. And then inland, in like the Free State, the middle of the country, they
Mhm.
had fire. So, because it's so dry, there's a danger of fires. So who knows?
Mm. Yeah, in South
Anyway,
Africa, we might even get an
mm,
earthquake. Like
listen,
random things keep happening. So
well, it's Bakabantu who always says, the end is nigh, but I don't know. We've got some dangerous things going on here all the time. You just blink your eyes, and then there's some new thing you need to be worried about. Um, Sharon says, I was listening to True Crime SA. The few bodies have been found in the Benoni Lakes and Bruma Lake. There we go.
please don't say that.
Mhm.
Don't say that. Because now I have to listen to that episode and find out like what happened, who did that. Oh man. Okay.
Hardy Dave says, Homestead Dam, that's one of yours, hasn't killed anyone from cholera yet. Yeah, I should shut up because Pretoria has killed people with cholera, actually. It's so weird. I suppose you can focus on the bad. If you were in America right now, you would be still reeling from the shock of like what happened in Hawaii with that fire not so long ago. They always are around, their winter, I think it is. They always have these terrible fires in California, and the whole place like burns down. They it's so crazy because there are parts of America, obviously, where they have such different kinds of weather systems. You got the northwest, which is like rain, 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 rain all the time. Seattle, Washington State, Oregon, those sort of areas, and then you've got Florida, which is like sunny all the time, but you get volcanoes. I mean, hurricanes occasionally, and then you have California, which is sunny most of the time, but then you get fires, and they haven't got rain for months on end. So I suppose if you live in a huge country like that, you expect such weird, disparate weather patterns. Here in South
Mhm.
Africa, we're like, mostly it's okay, right? Mostly.
Yeah. But what
All
I've
right.
also noticed with South Africa is that one odd thing will happen and we'll be like, oh my gosh, oh my word. And then it starts reoccurring and now it becomes the norm. And we're like, eh?
We get used to it, and we're like, oh, yeah, of course we have whatever, volcanoes. I'm so glad we don't have any of those. Can you imagine the like disaster response this government would have to a volcano? It would be well, let's just pour water on it till it goes out. That's
You
probably
know
what
what?
they
Knowing our government, they'd blame the apartheid regime and be like, "Yeah, we must just
they put the
blame apart.
volcano.
They put it there. You know, the ANC. Ah, wow. They always blame other people. It's never them. Ah, sugar."
Uh, there's a good discussion here, and I've kind of avoided talking about this because I'm not sure what to make of it. But the Mexican alien bodies, so they put these bodies on display. The Mexican government themselves, they say they're 1,000 years old, and they were
Mm,
found in Peru. They look a bit like, I mean, let me see if I can find you a picture of this because they look a bit like ET, right?
mhm.
And when I say ET, like they're not even trying very hard if they made this up to make them look like anything resembling something that isn't already in the literature, the conspiracy theory world. They look like you would expect an alien to look, which to me, if we had real aliens, I would think maybe they would look very, very different. Would catch us by
Ha.
surprise. We'd go, "Oh, wow, that's incredible. That's totally not what I expected them to look like." But they look exactly like you would expect an alien to look, and therefore, forgive me, I'm totally unconvinced. Um, I always get really excited when people say, "Oh, they found aliens," or they've got absolute guaranteed proof. And then invariably, I'm disappointed when I see the results. So this is what they say the aliens look like, right? Um,
Mhm.
don't hold your breath if you haven't seen this before because it's not going to blow your mind. But there's 1,000-year-old alien corpse, but it looks like a very bad sculpture, like done by a kid in the sand. Doesn't it look like a sand castle type, like
You know what
beach?
I thought when I saw this? Men in Black. I honestly thought Men in Black. I was like, "Here come the Men in Black," and I was just
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, this looks like something from Men in Black." I'm sure it was from the
I,
set. Someone lost some
yeah, it's like a
equipment from
prop.
the set. Yeah,
Mm.
prop. And then now they're saying, oh, look at
Well,
this.
I honestly think if you look at it, they've done it no favors by making the alien body in inverted commas the same color as that cloth fabric
Mm,
they put him. I mean, it looks like a coffin, but it also looks like a kid could have sculpted this on the sand. In fact, I've seen better representations of people, aliens, whatever, in beach sand around South Africa's beaches. So it looks so fake. And guys, like the line in X Files, you want to believe it's true, especially because we look around and we see the world at the moment and we're like, this world is so messed up.
mm.
Um, it's such a crazy place. It's things are insane and out of control. We've got like real problems in the world, and people have got crazy lives, and shit's happening. We'd love the aliens to be true because then it would mean, oh, good, there's a new chapter coming. There's something big is going to happen to all of humanity and force us to like stand together and stop our nonsense. But I'm not convinced by this one. It really does look bad. It's a Togolosh, says Congo Chris. Clearly, Congo Chris is very taken by our conversations this week about witches and Togoloshes and all the rest. Looks like a kid's clay project. Yes, exactly, Nikki. Exactly. They look fake as hell. I usually
Hmm.
believe that I aren't that stupid, says Hardy Dave.
You
Pottery
aren't.
class. Yeah, you see, like you guys are all on the same page as me on this. Um, Tequila Yoda. It's like someone who maybe got drunk and then tried to make a Yoda sculpture. Yeah, that's about right. So sorry, guys. George Meenie even says that's ET because it
Mm-hmm.
even has the same like head shape as ET. So it's like some drunk Mexican decided I'm going to make a fake alien, but he only ever watched ET because yeah, I mean, look, they say that they've done DNA tests. They've taken DNA out of
Ah,
it, and that
ah.
30% of the DNA is completely foreign to anything on Earth. Show us. I mean, like, I want actual scientists, not alien hunters. I want these people to actually do the stuff in a laboratory that is not run by some lunatic, you know,
Please.
or that, or that they're paying someone to say, please tell them it's real. Tell them it's real. I don't know. I just can't buy this. I'm sorry. We do have super bets a little bit later on, which is going to be fun because we've got loads of sport this weekend. That's another reason to be in a good mood because we've got plenty of rugby and there's going to be exciting stuff that Ben will tell us about in the sport later on. But I'm struggling to get excited about this alien thing, and I do want to believe. Like, I'd love to. I'd love to see some advanced civilization from somewhere else land on Earth and tell us how dumb we are and get us in line and make us better. I don't want them to kill us. I don't want them to land here and wipe us out because they think that we are, which they probably would have a good point about, self-destructive, bickering, entitled, destroyers of the ecology, whatever. I don't want them to come here and kill us. But if they would come here and be nice to us and teach us really, really impressive stuff like interstellar travel and you know how to counter gravity with a machine or how to create endless amounts of energy, can you imagine? I mean, it would be fantastic. But I think that's a pipe dream. I think we got a better chance of figuring out that stuff on our own.
Yeah, I was about to say, just dealing with humans is a lot. It's just a lot. I'm already like, after God, fear men. Now we have to deal with aliens. No, 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 no,
Mm.
no, no, no. Nope, nope. That's a lot. Let's first master us. Let's try understand men, women, they, them, other, before we can even look at aliens. That's my whole thing.
Ted says we were talking about funny weather earlier, and usually it's very boring to talk about weather unless it's extreme stuff. And Ted says, have you heard about the catastrophe in Libya?
Ooh.
They had 400 millimeters plus of rain and a crazy storm. Two dams collapsed, and apparently thousands of people have died.
Oh,
Libya has just, I mean, that is, oh, it's one of the worst places in the world you can find yourself right now, is Libya, right? Because since the fall of Gaddafi, which was years ago now, we're talking like more than 10 years ago. Um, that place has just been absolute hell. There is technically no government. There's no overseas force that is big enough to actually take advantage of the situation. So there's no control whatsoever. It's complete anarchy. There are human slave trade businesses that have been established there. It's a
Mm,
real disaster. And Tripoli, even though Gaddafi was not by any means a good guy, uh, Tripoli used to be quite an interesting and evolved and let's just say not for everybody, obviously. If you were in the Gaddafi family, you were great. You know, you lived a terrific life until right at the end. But Tripoli wasn't a hellscape like,
yeah,
Mogadishu, for example. But now it's definitely a hellscape. So it's just if I lived in that country, I mean, you see these people who are trying to cross the Mediterranean in like, you know, tiny little boats, which is a very dangerous idea because it's not exactly close to get to Europe. But it's so bad there, it's so terrible in Libya that people will take their chances with, drowning in the sea.
yeah,
And you now imagine like that's bad enough that they're living in this terrible, terrible country, and now also they have to deal with this. So I'll look it up, but thanks for telling us about that, dude.
sure.
It's Ted, full of good information this morning. Apparently, Johannes says we've got to watch the Piers Morgan interview with Prof. Neil deGrasse Tyson, which happened on Wednesday.
Ooh, okay.
Mm. Okay,
All right, we'll
thanks.
take recommendations.
Cool. Um, Moderator, lol, after seeing half of the sick things we were up to, they'd bail out to destroy the planet. That's the aliens. So if they got here, do you think that they'd probably blow us up? They'd probably go, you know what? There's nothing we can do to save these people. They are a complete disaster. Bye bye.
I
Blow us
don't
up.
think so.
You
You know,
don't? You think they'd like us?
I do. I mean, there's a story in the Bible where the angels came to earth, right? And they
Hmm.
saw how beautiful the women were, and they slept with them. They were like, "I'm willing to risk it all. I'm willing to just turn my back against God because of these mere humans." So I don't know. They might actually like us. They might be like, "Oh, oops,
What if
okay,
they're all?
you're different."
What if they're all gay, Simpiwe? What if you know?
It's okay. There's men. Do you, boo boo? Identify as however, like whoever. But all I'm saying, they might come here and see humans and be like, wow, this is what I've been missing all my life. This is what I need. I need to just be like them.
In
And
the
boom.
in the Bible story about the aliens coming to Earth and sleeping with the human women,
Mhm.
didn't that end in like fire and brimstone? It didn't go well.
Yeah, because God was mad. He was like, "How dare you
That's
do?
right.
I sent you on an assignment and you failed. You
Right.
know, you saw how beautiful these women were, and you were like, you know what? Let me risk it all." So that was the consequence of it. All I'm saying is that we've seen, something from out of Earth come here and be like, "Oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever." So maybe the aliens will do the same thing.
Rebellious Ruth, the chairperson of the comments section, says Gareth, tonight starts Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. So wishing all the Yids a happy New Year. Yeah, happy New Year to all the Jewish peoples. And I hope that this will be what is the actual Jewish calendar date at the moment? We're like 5,000 and something. Let me just see this
Sure.
quickly. Yeah. What is the Jewish year? Let me take a look here. Jewish year 2023 because I think it's 5783. Yeah, there we go. 5783 in the Jewish calendar. So we date the year as 2023 obviously since Jesus, but the Jewish calendar it's year 5783. So happy
Hmm,
new year. There we go. We'll be
okay.
turning 5784. Yeah, you're going to know these numbers. It's hugely important because, of course, it changes your whole numerology if you're into that. People are like, I was born on this date. Da, 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 da. Like they calculate your
Oh
birth calendar.
yes.
What if they got the date of Jesus' birth wrong? That means everybody's star chart is wrong. Everybody's numerology chart's wrong.
Your
They didn't
entire life is a lie. That's the
exactly.
thing. So
The aliens will definitely wipe you out then. But this is an interesting point being made by George. He says human DNA is merely 1 to 4% off of chimps, and chimps are equivalent to a 5-year-old in terms of at least their cognitive ability when they're at their best. Imagine another civilization was merely 1 to 4% more advanced than us. We'd be dumb as hell. That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. A lot of people
Okay.
complaining about the weather in Cape Town, so it is shitty there, but it's not like volcanoes and hurricanes. So let's just count our blessings, okay? And aliens are not coming here to sleep with our women, as Simpiwe suggests.
I'm just saying it's possible. It's very much possible. That's it.
All right. Well, I found a really, really inspiring video of just, if you think that there aren't beautiful women in the world, and they're the kind that Simpiwe said even the angels would come and want to sleep. I found this very inspiring video of just how beautiful some women are, and there's always someone. They in what do they say? Every pot has a lid, right? Every pot has a lid. Take a look at this beauty here. Are you ready?
Okay, let's go.
All right, everybody in the comments, you just have to hold your horses. Everybody's listening on the podcasts. I'll try to explain. Simpiwe will try to explain. Here's a beautiful one.
Mira, ya te la conseguí de 21 años como te gusta. Héctor, aquí está tu Rapunzel.
I don't know what I just saw.
Isn't she gorgeous?
Beautiful, Gareth. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
There's a young woman who's like super excited to introduce this one whose back is turned. She's got blonde hair, and so you're like, and from the back she looks well. She might be a bit thin, but she turns around and wow. All I could say is wow.
Yeah,
Try and describe her, Simpiwe. I dare you. Go on.
She has a face for radio. I will say that. Like she I don't
Can I just say that is mean to all people in radio, and that includes possibly Jeez. I do have something that I can't wait for you and Ben to see, because it's just going to make you guys so angry. It made me very angry too, but it's actually hilarious in retrospect, because I don't think a lot of people who listen to this show think like this person. But I'll wait to tee it up when Ben's in. And I also have a little thing to show you about the difference between a weather report in Germany and a weather report in Greece, the way they do it.
Okay. All right. Well, Ben just walked in. Perfect timing.
They do it very differently. Yeah. Let's just say that it's very different. In Greece, the weather is very different to the way they do it in Germany. And you'll see exactly what I mean in a second. So Friday morning, we've got loads of good stuff coming your way. In fact, one or two of the things that we do want to get into this morning, and Ben is going to be with us for the duration, which is great news. We have a ton of stuff to talk about. Maybe we should begin with one or two news headlines. We'll get to that too. And of course, as I said earlier, we also have some sport for you. So while we get ready,
I'm excited. You know why? It's because I called it. Coco won the US Open, and I was like, yes, now I'm in it now. Whatever is happening in rugby, I'm in it now, because I was like, I saw a champ and I named it and she won. Now let's do the rugby. Like, let's go.
Very good. So here it is. I like that. I'm very happy. But you know what? When you're happy, I'm happy, Simpiwe. What can I say? Ben has got some things to talk about whether South Africans are friendly in general, because I think we are, but we'll talk about that just now. We also have to discuss the 7 deadly sins, and Simpiwe has a holiday theory about that. So we're getting into, some religious similes, metaphors.
Yes.
We got to talk about people making fake branded vodka in Durban, which is a big story. Very big story. People are worried about that. And
give people what they want.
Give people what? Fake branded vodka?
If you're dumb enough to buy this stuff, seriously, go for it.
It'll burn your insides. But yeah,
What's it called?
If you want
Absolute with 2 U's.
Wait, how do you? Ben, just
We need less stupid people in this world. If your only quest is status, sorry, bring out the drain cleaner.
Simpiwe, why can't we see Ben?
I think there's a bit of an issue with one of the.
You guys not expecting me?
No,
I'm
we
Ben.
were.
I come here on Fridays.
No, stop being like ghost guy.
Ghost guy. I'm here in the flesh. You can't get any more less ghosty.
He should pop up on the screen soon. Yeah.
Well, he's got a new name according to Congo, Chris. It's Bajajenjamin.
Yeah, I didn't think that stuck last week, and it sure as hell isn't sticking this week.
No, it's not working. Matthew says Coco is a one-hit wonder. We'll talk about that just now. But Ben, you'll be happy to know.
I also disagree. I watched her matches. I have seen how amazing she is. She is not a one-hit wonder.
Ben,
what happened to the girl that won the US Open last year? I feel she might be a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, but Coco beat her. So clearly.
Ben,
she's injured. Yeah, yes, Gareth.
I took your advice exactly the way you said I should bet last weekend, and I won. I won. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Look, I've got to say, I do not try and be a sorcerer of needs. If you want to bet on the back of my suggestions, go for it.
That's what I do. What do I know about sports?
But but then when you lose, if you don't play well, it's not me.
All I'm going to say, and maybe we can go straight into the sports so that we can get into this, because to me this is something that's brought me closer to the Rugby World Cup. I wouldn't have paid attention. I put in $600, right, and now I'm sitting at $959. So I'm very happy with your suggestions. Yeah.
I watched. I don't actually watch a lot of live sports. I pick up key things I need to, and I've got a good understanding. I let the all go through. But last weekend, I watched every minute of the World Cup because I had multipliers going. I was cheering on moments like I've never cheered sport before. It was amazing.
And did you win big?
When your team, Argentina absolutely cocked my whole weekend up. Argentina, I don't know what their deal is. They played against 14 English Oaks and they lost. They didn't even look like they wanted to come third. But there's something quite special when your team needs to win by 73 points and the ball's live in the last couple of minutes. You go, come on.
You can do it.
Start shouting at guys' names you can't pronounce. It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into it because there's plenty to talk about in sports. So we'll start straight away with all of that. Of course, it's brought to you. It's Beyond the Scoreboard, Super Bets, and you can find out more by actually going to Super Bets. You can do it via the Cliff Central website. You even get a little bonus. And you can go along to superbets.co.za and start placing your bets this morning. And we'll look at what sport there is to look forward to this weekend with Ben.
All right, fantastic. Well, there was a game already in the World Cup this weekend, and it was France versus Uruguay. 27-12, France winning that one with their second stringers. Now, something quite interesting about World Cups, like obviously you're going to get the big dogs play against the little dogs, the puppies, if you will, from time to time. And then you think, oh, it's going to be a huge score. So looking back on the history of the World Cup, there has been some absolute thrashings. 6 teams in PW have taken 100 points.
Yeah.
Now, there's only 80 minutes in a rugby game. So if you take 100 points, you are crying into your beer afterwards. So 6 teams have done it. The biggest score was 145-19. New Zealand beat Japan. I know, I'm also thinking that. Where did Japan find the time to score 19 points? And then the biggest... The biggest margin of victory was Australia versus Namibia in 2003 when Australia hosted 142-0. That's an actual cricket score. That's a good opening stand.
Sure.
So when people look at the games that are coming up this weekend, like Wales, Portugal, Ireland, Tonga, SA, Romania, you think, okay, well, this is going to be it tonight, New Zealand, Namibia. But the great thing about World Rugby is that things have actually tightened up a lot. So as I said, there's been 6 teams. New Zealand have put 300 on the board 3 times. They beat, obviously, Japan, they beat Italy, and they beat Portugal by 100 points. But World Rugby have invested so much into the lesser tiers that it has actually tightened up a little bit. And on top of that, the squads are bigger now. So teams like France yesterday played an entire B team, basically. So you're not going to see those massive thrashings like we used to see. Of course, Romania are going to take an absolute trouncing against the Box, just like they did against Ireland. But the 100-pointers, I think they could be behind us. So tonight, Friday, New Zealand, Namibia, 9 o'clock tonight. So we've got tomorrow, Saturday, Samoa versus Chile at 3, Wales versus Portugal at 5:45, and then Ireland versus Tonga. Ireland have a bit of a strange strategy at the moment. They're not really using their squad. They're kind of playing their first choices. I don't know if that's because they feel they must become battle-hardened for the all-important game against SA, whatever it may be. But they're going to go full strength, not rotating that much. Sunday, SA versus Romania at 3. Of course, the big shock, the most sad news of all is that Malcolm Marx will not play for the rest of the tournament. Knee injury suffered in training. He's out for the whole World Cup. Now, if you don't know much about rugby, the most important players in your team have the numbers 1 to 5 on their back. You need a tight 5, you need a set pieces, and we've lost an absolute man-mountain in Malcolm Marx. Not only has he got the best tattoos and sleeves in all of world rugby, he's also
and he's got the best granny. Got the best granny because they made
granny.
She's awesome.
I mean, it's such a loss. I was really down yesterday for a couple of hours, and then I played golf and I was fine. But it was actually really, really sad for me that Malcolm Marx will not be there. He is the absolute epitome of what the engine room of the Bok team looks like. Still, we got depth. Bogio Bonambi, of course, is the other hooker of prominence. He'll be leading the team on Sunday. And then Australia versus Fiji at 5:45. England versus Japan. Now, this game is huge because Japan love making an upset. They'll probably be able to just beat Argentina. If Argentina play the way they played in that first game against anybody else, I reckon we'll scrub up a couple of guys here and beat them. As you can see, I'm still bitter about them losing my bets.
So, I mean, England, Japan, let's just look at that quickly. What do you reckon? You said that there could be an upset, but I mean, England,
See, the thing is, Japan had this whole wave of focus going into the fact that they were hosting the World Cup last time out. So not only did they lure those South Sea Island players, they lured a couple of other people. I mean, like the Japanese team is a very United Nations-ish kind of team, but they kind of plateaued a little bit. I mean, I know they took the All Blacks relatively close, or almost beat them recently, a couple of years ago. But Japan aren't quite the team they were a few years ago, so I wouldn't expect an upset from this one. And England, maybe they've been playing a bit of possum for the last couple of years, but they did look pretty good. And if George Ford, not Tom Ford, if George Ford is at number 10, I think they're a better team. Owen Farrell is a liability. Sure, there's star power there perhaps, but a guy like George Ford is a boring fly half that you want that can just dictate the flow of the game and score when needed. So I don't think this is the upset. I reckon Japan could probably take Argentina. But let's stop bashing Argentina. Everyone's entitled to a bad day, even if it is like you got hands like feet like they did last weekend. Yeah.
All right.
So that's the Rugby World Cup for this weekend. There was a comment I want to just kind of address if I can get this thing up here. Migs over here on the comments said, in super bets for Rugby World Cup, why are there games of the countries listed as home and away when all countries are technically playing away? Well, Migs, this is just because you have a home market. So every match essentially has a home and away. I mean, you can call them the red team and the blue team if you really want. It's just a classification. So when you see the odds go there, it's like that you want a home team result, whether it's a handicap or an outright. So yeah, I mean, it's quite simple. Home on the left, away on the right. Good luck. In the cricket,
there we go.
In the cricket, the approaches aren't quite as shit maybe as we thought, because they absolutely hammered the Aussies in Potchefstroom, which was quite weird because that was the home of Marnus Labuschagne, who's been putting the thorns in our side of late. So it's 2-1 right now. They're playing tonight at Centurion. Can you imagine how many drunks are going to be at Centurion this weekend? I mean, it is the weekend. You get to start on the grass with a cooler box and a scottle, and then you basically don't stop drinking until Sunday when you watch the box. If you're in the Centurion area, you're gonna think there's gale force wind rushing through there that people are going to be staggering so much. But what a wonderful weekend to be in Centurion. Tonight, this is where the game happens. And then Sunday at the Wanderers. Now, I know the Boks are playing, and I know there's been some cricket fatigue of late, but if you're at the Wanderers and you're into it, well, that could be the decider. If the Proteas can beat the Aussies in Centurion tonight, it's all set up for a fifth and final decider. And the thing is, the Proteas team on paper is actually pretty good. They've got a newish coach. Maybe they're just trying to gel. Markram he scored 100 in the last game. He's still meant to be this world superstar, but sometimes he just sort of, I don't know, brain farts and doesn't carry on. But the Proteas loves a good team. And if you're in Centurion or the Wanderers this weekend, I think you could experience that. And then Premier League. Anyone care about that one?
Yeah,
Of
bro.
course. Seeing as I went through these fixtures last weekend. Wolves versus Liverpool, Hoppus won on Saturday. Spurs have started really well. I played golf with a Spurs fan yesterday, and he was actually quite upbeat. You know, they've been Spurs and Arsenal kind of oscillating between who's the most self-deprecating or actually just depressed. And they both are going through a pretty good time right now. I can't wait until that game happens. It's going to be quite something. But Spurs will take on Sheffield United at 4, Man United versus Brighton at 4, West Ham versus Man City same time, Newcastle and the Brentford at 6:30. And then Sunday, Chelsea, they'll probably be beating Bournemouth away at 3, and then Everton versus Arsenal at 5:30. There's huge amounts of golf on at the moment, of course, because when the PGA Tour wraps up their FedEx thingy, everything goes towards the European side for the DP World Tour, and we've got the BMW PGA Championships at Wentworth. It's like the traditional European Tour's marquee event. I mean, Wentworth is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's so picturesque and just private schoolish. And that'll be the big tournament there on the PGA, on the DP World Tour. Everyone's trying to win the race to Dubai, and that's when basically they get lots of money. And then, of course, 14 days until the 2023 Ryder Cup. Like it's hard not to be excited about sport right now.
This is like the year of World Cups, right?
It's just so much. Just so much.
You're a big Ryder Cup fan. Aren't you going to make your way over there soon?
Gareth, I think I'll talk about this at length next week, because I'm trying to hold off the excitement because it's already far too high. I lose concentration for most times of the day now, knowing that I'm going to the Ryder Cup.
And it's happening in Rome, of all places, which is bloody fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to go to Rome. I've always wanted to go to a Ryder Cup. It's the perfect time of year.
Nice.
There is so much happening in the world of golf. You know, there's so many different stories that have come together for this Ryder Cup to be the most interesting in recent years, because generally what happens is the home team always wins. But now, because you play in America and then you get those drunks shouting USA and everyone just gets annoyed. And then when you play in Europe, they play in more sort of quirky conditions. There's more target golf. And then, it's been one-sided that kind of way. But the USA got a strong team this year. They've got a lot of world-dominating players. Europeans also they've come good all of a sudden. But as I said, I don't want to get too excited and tell you all about the Ryder Cup now. I think from next week.
Okay.
Yes.
I do want to quickly refer to one thing, because I'm now obsessed with betting, because I'm winning money. Obviously, when I start losing, I won't be interested anymore. But I noticed something else on Superbet, that you can also bet in the World Cup on the winning hemisphere. They've got odds on that. They've got odds on the top tournament point scorer.
Yep.
Top tournament try scorer. I mean, this is really cool. You could pretty much place bets on anything.
Gareth, if you really want to drill down into these sort of markets, when you watch a golf tournament, you can bet on the top Asian if you want. You can bet on the top European. Yeah, there's
it's Asian.
When we first started talking about Superbets, we started talking about how there's just various markets and algorithms and plugins and all these kind of things. And that's what these betting sites are. They're multi-layered for your playing entertainment. This is what it comes down to, right? So if you love a sport, you can really drill down into it, and you can find where you might think you have an insight edge, and then you can kind of play on that. It's great.
Very good. Okay, well, go and place your bets. And if you need to know more, you can find out all the odds on superbets.co.za. I mean, we've got cricket, we've got Premier League, we've got rugby, we've got PGA. All of this stuff is all happening. So go and have a look. Superbets supports. Geez, I rolled two words together there. Superbets supports responsible gambling. No under 18s. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation's toll-free counseling hotline is 0800 006 008.
Can I just add one more thing there? If you are playing Super Brew with your brews and all those office pool kind of things, and you have no time to go through team sheets or really worry about this kind of stuff, just go to Superbets, go into the World Cup matches, and see what your sort of opening handicaps are, and just bet on the team by whatever that is. Like it's a quick fix thing, because a lot of people don't play Super Brew throughout the tournament because they're like, I'm gonna think about the stuff now. I don't know who Romania are. You don't have to. There's a sneaky little way of going about it.
All right. So well, I've put a sneaky little bet on Japan just for shits and giggles. Let's see what happens there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know the outcome, so I just wish you good luck.
Thank you, Ben. I'm very glad. All right, so I've got something to show you guys that I feel this is probably one of the most irritating things I've seen on the internet all year. And that's saying something,
Okay.
because the internet delivers stupid shit every single day. This is a mom who supposedly she's some kind of influencer, and she is using her kid, and she's using the death of their pet dog as a way to get clout. She's a clout chaser. She's a click chaser. She's one of these people who wants to be internet famous. She already is, apparently, but she forgot she was recording this and then put it out. And you get to see what she's really doing, how the child and the death of the dog are all just props in her internet life. And this is very frustrating and irritating. And try not to be annoyed by the lady who's telling the story, because she's also kind of irritating, but nowhere near the mom. So are you ready? Here we go. Take a
Watch
look at
this
this.
mom vlogger
Let's go.
force her son to take a thumbnail right after his dog died. Jordan Cheyenne had bought in a puppy that ended up getting sick and losing its life to parvo. After filming and uploading the videos, she forgot to edit out the part where she was forcing her son
Be part of our family. So if you could pray for us, we appreciate it. I love you guys. Bye. Come here. Come closer for the video. Come closer. Come closer. Come closer. Put your head right here. Come closer. Closer. Down. Put your head down here. Act like you're crying. Really quick.
I am crying.
Let them see your mouth. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
I'm actually crying.
I know. Look at me.
And then some parents end up wondering why kids end up growing up to be the way that they are.
Now, I mean, you don't even know where to start with this, but this is the kind of thing that the internet has given us that is absolutely revolting and trashy and awful. I mean, this child is actually crying because the dog actually died, which is a horrible situation. But the way the mother's like, put your head here, act like you're crying, act like you're crying. He goes, I am crying. She pretends to cry. She's like, but you could tell it's all bullshit. She's
Give
just
that woman,
what a horrible human being.
give that woman fake designer vodka. That's what she deserves.
Right. I mean, what do you think of this,
Oh,
Cynthia? You see so much stuff online.
And it's just frustrating. It is
Mhm.
frustrating. And you know where this pandemic started? It started when parents created pages for their babies, and then they were commenting or replying as the baby. So they'd put up captions, I love my parents so much. We know you're the one who put it up. You know, that was the first sign that everything is going down south. And now we see videos like this, and I'm just like, yo, can we call someone to take this lady away from the kid? Can she be thrown in jail? Because this is ridiculous. But yo,
Well,
I
some people,
can.
you know, where it goes even further than that. I mean, like the genesis of all of this is just that she had shit parents, and
Yeah.
they probably had shit parents. Look, it always comes back to what we've been saying for the last 10 years. You need a license to raise a child. This person has been raised badly, and now she is just doing what she knows to raise someone else badly. That guy over there is going to knock up some girl who had a similar trauma, and they're going to raise a child badly too. The
Yeah.
end. Actually, no, sorry,
It's
not
the,
the end. Perpetual cycle.
Perpetual cycle, correct. It's going to carry on for another, I don't know, 20 generations unless some really big intervention takes place. Someone shows someone actual love. Can you imagine, though, using your child as a prop in the video when the child, by the way, is going through an actual trauma? This kid is, I mean, every child, if they lose a pet, is upset, right? Unless they're a complete psychopath. This is a moment for the mother to sit down with the kid, have a serious conversation. And I don't know, maybe she did this afterwards. Who knows? But she doesn't seem like the kind of person who gives any shred of a damn about anyone but herself. It's just so gross. It's so
Yeah,
gross.
It is. But it also has become this fact that some people feel like your camera, your phone, the internet is actually someone in your life. So it's like you got to perform to it. It's not
Yeah.
about a platform anymore. Like you perform. It's like this is like a Black Mirror episode of Note, right?
Yeah.
And she did
People
that all for
say-
views. You see, that's what makes me mad. All for views. Well, I hope she's happy because she went viral. I really hope she
But
is.
is she like one of those make money kind of influencers?
If you're
Yeah.
trying to orchestrate how everything looks and what, clearly you're making money.
Yeah.
There's people done worse things for sales.
That poor child, This is an old story. I hate these mums. Yeah. Psycho. What a shitty mum. Hate this cuck TikTok obsessed idiot, says JP. Virus says, start the rapture. Tracy says, all you can do, shake your head. That poor kid. Yeah, it's.
Guys, this is
I
reality
just
show waiting to happen, right? This is absolute parental interventions, and you go around the world with clips like this and go, right, you made your son talk us through this, and then you intervention them.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you force them, but you force them to account for themselves. I think that would be so interesting because you'll see that they haven't. You'll see they haven't really thought things through. Plus, they will all break down in tears because they'll realize how badly they've fucked up. But it needs. I mean, this is what Dr. Phil used to do, right? He used to bring in terrible people off the internet, like that Cash Me Outside girl, who's like now. I think she's like the second or third biggest thing on OnlyFans, and. Consider you can't talk to your mother like that. You've got to have some respect for your mother. Is that really how you feel? And then they would all either have a fight or they'd start swearing at Dr. Phil or they'd break down in tears or whatever. But there was always some, like something would happen and you would think, okay, the world's not so messed up because there's someone holding this person to account. I don't know. I don't know.
We need more Dr. Phils.
Yeah,
and the thing is, you wouldn't struggle for interviews, right? Because these people are attention whores. They'll jump at the idea of being at a reality show, even if it is at the expense of their psychology or psychosis, whatever you want to call it,
and the expense of their kids, frankly. But yeah, it is time. Like people like this must just be the kids must be taken away and they must be put in a cage. Put them in a cage. That woman, she belongs in a cage.
The woman does, not the kid. You can't keep shoveling other people's horrible or badly raised kids onto other people because that's not fair. We've got to make it right, Gareth. Got to make it right.
Well, let's talk about this fake alcohol because that's what you suggested. First and foremost, we should give a Pinetown, geez, that's a rough place. Pinetown police swooped on an illegal distillery where 3 people were caught manufacturing illegal vodka under the name of a well-known brand in Westmead on Tuesday. Branded boxes, tons of liquor, a matrix printer, and bottle caps, all valued at 400,000 Rand, were seized. We don't know which brand it is. So just, I would stay clear of vodka over the weekend. You never know. It could be like turpentine. Right?
Well, isn't that Smirnoff already?
Damn, Simpiwe was about to buy a bottle for the gender
No,
reveal.
I mean,
No.
Smirnoff make great products, but that their base vodka is base. Like if you've got stubborn, like dirt, grime, and stains, that's the trick.
Really, you use vodka?
Put it this way: back when I used to drink, basic Smirnoff lived more under my sink than did on my booze cabinet. Some stubborn grime and every now and again from places. You never know. You can't cover everything.
Sound like Isabel Jones on the old
Smirnoff red label. That's the trick.
If I have a stubborn stain and I really need to get rid of something terrible, I use Smirnoff vodka first, and then after that I use even worse stuff.
No, please. No, Ben, this tip, please share it with Mbali Nklapo. There is a lady who has gone viral on TikTok, and she always starts her videos. Hi, I'm Mbali Nklapo, and I'm the housekeeper. And then she shares tips on how to, get rid of stubborn stains and whatnot. Please share that with her because people need it. People absolutely need to know that.
You could probably get a bottle of Count Pushkin that'll do just as well.
Didn't we ask Jane to do a kind of a similar sort of video?
Oh, yes. And let me tell you, Jane was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to use my own name. And she's like, I'm Jane Malachi, and I'm the housekeeper.
Well, I mean, technically that's a lie because Jane can't keep anything other than her own attention.
So Congo Chris says Smirnoff ain't got shit on Russian bear. The bear will strip the fiberglass off a boat.
Yeah, and just think so many kids. I mean, when I was growing up, on the weekend you would take on the bear. That would be it.
Bear needs to be banned. Needs to be 1818 needs to be banned. Kids must not drink that thing. Adults must not drink that thing. Please, if you love your life and you love your liver, don't do that to yourself.
No, I think
Don't.
Russian beer is not so bad. You go to countries around the world where they don't have any sort of like, I don't know, process
Rules.
about getting drunk and having friends and socializing. They just want to get hammered. They've been doing
Yeah.
manual labor for 6 days of the week. They want to get obliterated. Like when I was in Israel and we were on the kibbutz, we were doing manual labor. We want to get obliterated. Then we'd fall asleep on the grass. Like it was a weird time. And I think I told the story about 8 years ago.
You fall asleep on the cross.
But no, it was, guys, like I say, I know I come across as placid, but my youth was quite something. Now you go into like a general supermarket in Israel, there's an entire lane of just vodka. So it starts off with like vodka flavored, like Smirnoff stuff, things that you recognize. And then it just goes into hard Russian text. And then you go even further. And then, I mean, back then it was like 10 Rand a liter. This was like 2000. And then right at the end, there was this thing. It just had the label 96 on it. It's in the vodka thing, right? So I was with some, I mean, again, this is, I don't know, it's just my experience. But the people that kind of go to kibbutzes that aren't Jewish or South American or Scandinavian, because they go for like cultural things.
Mhm.
The scraps like I was amongst. Some of these oaks, I'm pretty sure were either escaping like police or people or witness protection of some sort. And I had some interesting friends, and these oaks were rough as a goat's knee. So we went for the thing that's 96 on it, and it was basically pure ethanol. But they were selling that in the vodka aisle. It wasn't like industrial cleaning. It was this. Between 6 of us, I think we only managed to get through quarter of the bottle. 5 of us passed out, and the 4th oak, if he's still alive today, what he did to himself. No, it made straw rum. It made straw rum come across as like Jägermeister. It was like fun and games. This thing, just went through you like evil Casper.
I got to show you something here quickly because I just looked up the world's strongest vodka, and it's a Polish spirit. Look at this. It's called Spiritus Rectafonawani, rectified spirit, product of Poland. It says here, Polmos Spiritus Rectowani vodka, the world's strongest spirit, is a rectified Polish spirit used by home distillers to create their own flavored vodkas at home.
Bad idea.
You can drink it straight.
Are you trying to die?
But since it's almost pure alcohol, it's got quite the kick and is generally not recommended.
So that's what I had, yeah. And then, like, so we all had a shot, like, neat, right? Oh, we can do this, dumbass. All took a shot neat, blacked out. Then it's like, hey, guys, lesson learned, right? No. Okay, guys, let's put some mix with it. It can't be that bad. It is. You can buy this kind of stuff all over the world. So we think we've got issues. Even this designer stuff is probably going to be great compared to this.
I'm so shook.
Rectifowani.
Do you want the word rectified or anything that you
No, no, not at all. No.
But Ben,
No.
these are your people. This is the Polish. They're famous for making the most hardcore vodkas, not the Russian.
As my dad's side is Polish, and it's very important to him, and I respect that. But just imagine you've met a guy at a bar, right? And he seems okay. You go back to his place, and there's bottles of this stuff lying around on the floor.
Guys,
Oh, I'm out of here.
Hightail it the hell out of here, ladies. Get run for the hills if you see Spiritus Rectovani.
if you love your life, if you love your liver, if you just want to just see another day, guys, don't do it. Don't do it, please, because what?
So it says, do you want to know more about this stuff?
I actually kind of do, yeah.
Yeah, I now know. I want to know what to avoid in life. Please give it to me.
You can get it on websites, but it says, please note, this is a high-strength product, and we would recommend not drinking it neat. Please enjoy this diluted or with a mixture of your choice. So they're telling you to add water, which is something they never do, right? A rectified spirit. Go on.
Water.
No, carry on. I'm all ears.
So a rectified spirit from Poland, bottled at extreme ABV of 95%. This is often used as a base for liqueurs and other infusions, and we highly recommend that it is never drunk neat. That's what they say on every page to do with this stuff.
95. That's soft. We had 96.
Huh?
Well,
The label was 96 though.
I'm surprised you're
Even
still
more.
here standing to tell the story, Ben.
For those people who are very serious about it, it also comes in a convenient 100 ml bottle, which you can
Yes,
hide away in your
nice.
jacket. You know,
Something for the Christmas stocking.
something you can use as a date rape drug if you'd like. This spiritus dush.
It's kind of cute. It's almost like the old hotel bar bottle.
Yeah, those ones. So there it is. Isn't that fascinating? 95%, and you said you had 96.
Yeah.
That is
All right. Well, I
wild.
mean, customer reviews. Do you want to? You want to hear some
Yes.
customer reviews?
What did
mum-
the people
Absolutely.
say?
So Jefferson, 2 July 2021, 1 star. My mum tried it and she died.
That's what I mean. If you
Oh,
love your life,
worth a go.
Nazo,
Anonymous.
I believe these reviews.
Anonymous, 4 July 2020. It's like liquid crack. Mix it with Arnold Palmer iced tea and don't plan on driving anywhere. Anonymous, 29 February 2020. Now, this amazing liquor is also used as a substitute for alcohol disinfectant in the time of coronavirus. The Philippines, 31 January 2020. 5 stars. This is very light for me.
What weed? What? What are you drinking?
So, Anonymous, 29 May 2018, 5 stars. I had a bottle, drank it neat. It was great stuff. Ended up giving it away because I figured it'd sit in my cabinet for years. And when my daughter eventually got old enough, she would steal it and get alcohol poisoning. The guy I gave it to had his college-age neighbors and gave it to them. As far as I know, they're all still alive. Highly recommended.
Wow. Yeah, there's a product with stories, huh?
Yeah, listen to this.
Nothing
This is
just-
a woman who says, I use it for all kinds of things, not just to drink. I clean everything from my vape pen to my bike chain.
Ma'am. Like what? That's an all-purpose in one.
Wow. Rob from Newcastle on Tyne says, if you're interested in making alcohol-based tincture extracts, this is fuel for your choice. Even more potent than eye drops. If it was any more potent, it would be for sending people to the moon as rocket fuel. So there we go. You have some actual feedback from people who've tried it. Great stuff. We found the world's most dangerous vodka. That's probably what they were making in KZN. All right. And then this is quite interesting. Apparently, a bunch of Kruger gold coins have gone missing. 7.2 million rands worth of Kruger coins have gone missing from a bank vault. And it resulted in a banking officer being convicted of theft and sentenced to 8 years of imprisonment. It appeared the elderly owner of the coins did not know how many he owned. Kevin Kashula was earlier pinpointed as the culprit and convicted and sentenced by a lower court. He, however, managed to clear his name on appeal at the Makanda High Court in the Eastern Cape. So the guy who supposedly stole them has got away with it. We still don't know where they are because he hasn't revealed whether he did take them, didn't take them, whether he had them. He claimed he was not guilty the whole time. But imagine having so many gold Kruger rands that you don't even know how many you have.
Mhm.
Sure.
You probably shouldn't tell the cops that. They might not
Yeah,
be that interested in
No.
getting it found.
And also, where would you put them? Because these were stolen from a bank vault. So, normally when you put things in the bank vault, you're like, well, they'll be safe as houses. But maybe it would have been better if this person had kept them in their house, buried them in the garden.
Take them, cash them in, live your life. What's this person doing? Is this person living in the Eastern Cape?
Yeah, that's
Take
it.
the money, get out of there. Live your life.
Get out. All right, it's after 7. We've got to take a break. We'll be back in a moment or two with a whole lot more. Ben's here, Simpiwa's here, we're here, and we are looking after you this morning. Stick around. CliffCentral.com. It's Friday.
This week on the AutoTrader podcast.
In Cape Town this past weekend, and I saw an R8 with the top down, and it looked really nice. I won't lie. But for me, I don't know. I've never been into
Yeah, I always wonder with smash and grabs and the
In South
crime
Africa,
the country,
it's-
South Africa hijacking. Is it
Convertible,
convert- like, you probably stop at a traffic light and you suddenly got a passenger. It's like,
Guy just jumps in. He's
where
like,
we going?
Now I got a getaway driver. When you hijack with the hijacker.
I mean, no, not even a getaway. It's just somebody catching a lift. Jumps in the car. And just,
I wonder if that's happened before. I wonder what the rates of people getting.
You've seen Bucky stop at a traffic light, right?
Yep.
Catch us every Monday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and on autotrader.co.za.
Life keeps getting better and better and better. Life keeps getting better and better and better. I wanna live forever and ever and ever. I wanna live forever and ever and ever. Better I face my reality. I've been in my dreams too long. I reflect on everything around me. It's why I wrote this song. People hate you when you levitate. When you love, they all wanna hate. Those are the people that really make it. Have a good circle that's gonna shape it. Got a full conference making a profit. These days you gotta be close to God. They're gonna lie, so don't you believe it. This system can't get you lost. Be true to the people around you. Gotta be true to who you are. Never let them lead you astray. Let's shoot them stars, bring them all down. Yeah. Life keeps getting better and better and better. Life keeps getting better and better and better. I wanna live forever and ever and ever. I wanna live forever and ever and ever. I just want to write about all that matters. Don't give a damn about what don't. Leave the IDGAF life and put what I say on course. I do this for the people that are broken, the people that are strong.
There is only one place on Cliff Central for 80s movie recommendations, obscure 80s references, 80s crushes, and it's the only place on Cliff Central with the best 80s songs you forgot how much you loved. That 80s show, Fridays, 9 a.m. on Cliff Central. People say we're stuck in the 80s, like it's a bad thing.
All right, Friday morning and 8 minutes after 7. We have a busy weekend ahead of us. Next weekend, of course, a long weekend, and spring is definitely here. Snipe says SIM card already has a summer glow. Look at that. Compliments all round, Simpiwe. Kala says, this is interesting. Kala, the Cash Me Outside girl, Danielle Brigoli, made $50 million in 1 year on OnlyFans. And we want white aliens give us a skip. Yeah. Yeah,
Give people what they want, huh?
Well, if you don't like the Cash Me Outside girl, then you really have to reserve the majority of your hatred for the people who did subscribe to her OnlyFans.
Sorry, just out of ignorance, was it just nudity? Was she doing other things? I mean, what happens to OnlyFans? Is it just naked stuff? I'm genuinely curious.
We talked about this once or twice before. The guy who invented it, he wanted to create a place where people could effectively charge their own fan base for content. And it was going to be content of any kind. So if you were going to teach people how to do a better golf swing, you're going to teach people fitness stuff. If you're going to teach people how to wrap a present properly or how to do calligraphy, you could have done all of that stuff. Of course, it took the internet 0.2 seconds to make it about porn.
Yeah.
So, and there was a point where he wanted to roll back all the porn and he wanted to ban it.
Yeah, he did. And then for like 2 days.
And like someone must have got hold of him and said, what are you, insane? Like, then you will lose all this incredibly lucrative money that you're making without even having to do anything. You don't have to pay any of these people as staff. You have to give them their commissions, and you take 20% of everything they earn. It's like such a winner. And then he changed his mind and he left the porn as it was.
Because I think he would have had a class action lawsuit against all these rich naked people. They would have found a way in the terms and conditions to say you cannot take away our livelihood.
Right. Probably. But they would have probably also just started an alternate version, you know. And this is what often happens: is if you have first, prime mover advantage, as they call it, then you get to have all those people, and then for whoever comes second or third, they have to win them over from scratch, which is a lot harder.
I'm surprised
we were
there
talking
isn't
about.
actually like a competitor.
I don't
Like
know.
everything has
I-
a competitor, right?
What do you mean?
Well, okay.
He's the new kid, because I mean, there's been
No, but I mean,
Pornhub, and
there's
that was
OnlyFans, right? I mean, Pornhub's, yeah, I mean, that's kind of different, I guess. There's also a lot of trafficking and child prostitution, but like, there's no, because like YouTube has also, there's no one there because Google's money behind YouTube, so you can't take it on. But there's no one competing with OnlyFans. You think there would be better rates, or there'd be some sort of other tech you could offer people?
no. So here's the beauty about OnlyFans is that as a
Oh, here we
content
go. As a connoisseur, you were saying?
no. As a content creator, you get on there and then you determine how much you want to charge for your content. So you just like, I'm Simpiwe and I will charge $5, $3, $20. And it's up to me to get people to subscribe to my channel, I guess. And that's how I make revenue. So they actually don't make a loss, because if you think you're worth $100, you're going to put in the work to get your audience to pay $100.
Yeah, genius.
Yeah. I think that, there are lots of like suburban housewives in America who suddenly also think that they should be OnlyFans models. And there are lots of people who've done this. In fact, there's a woman who's running for, I think, a house seat in Virginia, in America. She's running for a political office, but she and her husband have been like posting their sex videos on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are saying, well, if that's what you got to do to make money, why should that preclude you from going into politics? And then the other people are saying, oh no, well, it's disgusting because, this tells you a lot about this person's morals. Would you really want a political leader with those morals? I'm like, please, political leaders. It's a different kind of prostitution. It's the same thing.
They're already in politics. They're already in politics.
It's a different kind of prostitution. It's what do they call it? Like a lateral move. It's not a big deal. So here's a bottle of vodka that someone who listens to us has got at home. How dodgy does that look? It's made out of wood. There's like a wooden cover
It looks
around.
finished as well. Like, you've been drinking it.
This is from Tracy. She's got Polish vodka in her house. And it's called Oak Vodka of Poland. The Buwa.
40%.
40%. Please. It's amateur stuff compared to that 95% we were looking at just now.
Guys, there's over 210 million registered users on OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm. So those are the people who subscribe to other people, or the people who are actually content creators?
Well, the actual content creators are over 2.1 million.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Yeah, and that guy's just printing money. He's printing money. He doesn't have to have a big staff. He doesn't have to have a big head office. It's like Uber. They don't have to own any cars.
Yep. And they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere.
Yeah, so they've paid more than 5 billion. More than 5 billion have gone to creators.
Oh, no. We spoke about this. You must check out how much that guy is making. It is ridiculous. That man is set for life. In fact, if I could meet him, I'd just be like, hey, sir, how you doing? Having a good day?
Yes, but we cannot go through a single show without you wanting to meet someone with lots and lots of money.
Yeah,
I mean, you really are. You're pulling all pockets. Now it's OnlyFans guy.
As long as he's not creating the content, I'm very happy. I'd be a very happy wife or second wife.
It tells you something about. Tells you, like, if you can create a product that that was never there before, that people will part with. I mean, how many billions of dollars did they say they've paid out to content creators? You just read it now. 6.
Yeah, sorry, 5 billion has gone to content creators.
You've just tapped into $5 billion of expenditure that people didn't know that they wanted to spend. That's incredible. Wow.
Exactly, but it's just, like you got to have a goal in life. Do you want to make money, or do you want to do good things? If you want to make money, then this is it. Whether you're selling insurance, whatever it is, OnlyFans facilitation, this is how you make money. If your goal is to make money, you cannot knock anybody for this kind of stuff.
But in his defense, he thought he was doing something good.
Yeah,
He was
deep down,
catering for content creators. And then what did people do? Nah,
no one is that, what's the word, altruistic or even simple in the head. You put anything on public factor, it's going to be naked. Nudity, there's going to be sex. This is how the world has always worked.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Yeah. I'm afraid so. All right, well, let's not get depressed about it, because for some people this is depressing information. There's other stuff that I wanted to get into this morning. How about this, for example? You've watched the weather in South Africa, and it's always the same. They got these kind of plain people who do a very honest scientific weather report. That's kind of how it works in Germany. But you got to see the difference between a German weather report and a Greek one. Okay, here's a quick show.
Guten Abend und herzlich willkommen zum Wetter. Na, das war ja heute wirklich eine graue Suppe, und das in ganz Deutschland. Sonne kam wirklich kaum.
Καλημέρα ρε παιδιά, κυρία Τρίτη ξημέρωσε. Ξυπνήστε με χαρά. Βγείτε από το κρεβάτι, σηκωθείτε και χορέψτε το.
Καλημέρα όλη μέρα, με πολύ ή λίγο αέρα. Και όλα καλά θα πάνε, αν τα ζήνες θα φύξανε. Καλημέρα με λιακάδα, απ' την όμορφη Ελλάδα. Και με χιονιά και με κρύα, πάντα αισιοδοξία. Χαπί, χαπί.
I mean, that's awesome.
Nice.
What a great weather report. Makes me want to move to Greece immediately.
It's another great example of, like, we are not the same. Stop this bullshit of inclusivity. We're all the same. We're not. Let's always honor the fact that we are different.
Yeah.
I mean, those countries aren't even that far apart in the great scheme of things.
No.
This is so great.
But the Greek weather report is so much better than the German one.
It's so fun. Like, it's interactive. And...
Look, I still don't know what's really happening. I just assume it's going to be hot in Greece.
Maybe it's in the song. I don't know.
I mean, was that a rain dance?
You know, but I would pay attention to her. You know, I would know what's going on. I'd tell you about the weather unprovoked. That is how you get my attention.
But is this how she creates an OnlyFans account? Because after 2 years of this, she's then known as the dancing Greek weather person, and then she cashes in. Is that how it works? Is that the model?
That's how it works.
I think
that's
so.
exactly what happened. And spot on.
She'll charge you for the dancing.
German girl's not opening OnlyFans.
No, hell no. If she does, it's because she wants to teach you self-defense classes. All right. CNN had this guy on the other day, and he said the only two things that had never let him down, and one of them was boobs. And the anchor was all upset. So it's a woman. And instead of taking this as a compliment, like one of two things in the whole universe that's never let him down, she could have gone, yeah, that's about right. Instead, she's like, excuse me, what did you say? So watch this. Just see her have a little fanny
I think that's
wobble.
a bad
Watch
move.
this.
I'm a First Amendment absolutist. I believe in only two things completely, the First Amendment and boobs. And so once they made the decision that they were not going to allow a conservative, non-sports related commentary, they couldn't do it
Hold on. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly as a woman anchoring the show. Did you say, what did you just say? You believe in the First Amendment and BWBS?
Boobs. Two things that have only never let me down in this entire country's history, the First Amendment and boobs. So those are the only two things I believe in absolutely in the country. And
you know who the real star of the show is? It's that man.
Yep. Yeah,
the black man who's like, wait, what?
He's like,
so I'm not the only one. I thought it. You said it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
yeah.
he's right. He's right. This is why OnlyFans works. This is the thing. Boobs are the most it's up there, most important things in life.
But what caught my attention, I mean, obviously that guy's right. You won't be let down if you believe in the First Amendment and boobs. But the way that anchor pretends, like you could tell it's all faux outrage, right? She's like,
absolutely.
I got to hold on to my feminist credentials. I better get upset about the fact that this guy likes titties because he's a straight white male. I better get upset about this because if I don't, the other feminists are going to come after me. They're going to be like, oh, you tolerated that misogyny on your show.
Well, to her defense, maybe she doesn't have boobs. Maybe she's an A cup. And a lot of, small-chested women, take offense to guys liking boobs. Like, why? Because we all know what guys are referring to, and they're like, we like boobs. They like to see things.
Good point. Yeah, that's very good.
But it's like her face. It's the absolute outrage of it. It's like, also, where's the humor? Like, there's zero humor in this mix,
No.
right? Even if she doesn't agree with the guy, it's kind of funny. And then she must put him in his place. Like, I think there's more to life than that. Like, that's what she could have said.
As a
No,
woman,
like,
as a female
as a
anchor
woman.
on this show, you're like, oh,
Please, there is something that happens. There's like a virus that infects these feminists that they just become totally humorless. They lose all fun. They become the opposite of fun. They're these shrill, bitter, angry, resentful. I've never met a feminist who doesn't have that characteristic at some point in the discussion. Where like anything you say, and it's so easy to upset them that sometimes you want to do it just to see the reaction. I don't think there are a whole bunch of people walking around actually, despising women for whatever reason. But when feminists are around, you like almost turn it up just to upset them because it's so easy, right?
But I think that's the first rule of all of these clubs, woke club, feminist club. You cannot ever find anything funny anymore. Like, humor is really important. It's what connects us as people. Like, we all laughed at the Greek girl there. Not laughed at her. We laughed because it was a fun thing. Other people are going to be like, oh, I bet some guy put her up to this. I bet some guy's forcing her to dance like this to get more views.
Right.
People still have free choice, eh?
They do, exactly. And sometimes you just want to have fun and say boobs on live, whatever CNN is classified as.
She couldn't even bring herself to say boobs. She had to go BOOBS. Yeah.
She tried to make it a word. She tried to make it like a trigger word.
Yeah. Like the N word or something else. Because you see these words are magic. They have magic powers. They can change the world. And if you use them, then it's an evil spell and you must be punished. It's crazy. It really is crazy. If you make them laugh and smile, they quickly roll their eyes and make a serious face. Well, that's what she did there. She was like, that facial expression that people pull when they're like,
Yeah, it's like someone set up a horrible fart in a small area. She pulled that face.
Yeah, a horrible fart in a small area face. That's the face. Chelsea Williams says bee stings. That's why she doesn't find it funny. Yeah, probably.
It's a very touchy subject for her. It's a personal matter.
I tell you what, she got bee stings. It's not a touchy subject.
Freedom of speech and freedom for boobs. Amandla, Congo Chris is on this wagon. He's with the guy who said those are the only two things that do not let you down. Probably.
And it's not always a pervy thing, ladies. I mean, sometimes you can just celebrate good things in life. And as guys, we like boobs. It's not going to make us degenerates or anything. Like, we just saying what we like. It's up there. Women always go, oh, to find this guy with a chiseled six-pack and all this guys. Yeah, okay. Well, that's same.
We like boobs. Right.
Yeah.
So don't give us uphill about it. We can't help that we like them.
Okay.
We're designed to like them from day one. Like, literally, it's not DNA. Like,
it's okay. Don't need to convince me.
I mean, like, I'm not trying to convince. I'm just putting the context here.
The Greek weather girl would definitely agree with him. Boobs, 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 says Tracy. Yeah, but you see, like, look at how happy he was. He was laughing while he was saying it. Look how happy the Greek weather girl is. Look how happy even the black guy is trying to keep a straight face there. And you can see he's like, I totally agree. Look how happy he is compared. And you get her, and she's like this miserable, angry, upset, outraged. Like, you just think, ugh.
Also,
who would you rather be?
This discussion about boobs or bunda, which is ass. So maybe she's team like, no, you appreciating the wrong thing. You should actually, appreciate the butt.
Cynthia, I can promise you now, if it was ass, she would have been just as unhappy. She's the kind of person, she would have been unhappy no matter what happened.
Yeah, whether you get like a vagina guy, I mean, like where do we stop? That woman's going to be upset either way.
I tried.
That guy could be, I like feminine shoulders, and she'll be like, did you just say feminine shoulders? I mean,
and then pull that fuck in a small space.
It'll be like, I like a girl in high heels. Did you just say high heels? Did you just say high heels?
You disgust me. What is wrong with you?
Am I not tall enough? I like a girl with a clutch bag. Really, clutch bag. What must go on there? Tampons.
Here's why Afrikaans is the least sexy language in the world, from HML. Maak los die bra en ontspan die tiete.
Oh no.
Afrikaans is such an unsexy language. I'm sorry. It's just that's all
It
the
sounds like
proof you need.
someone would shout in a rural area. A big expanse of a field.
Wait, I actually have a quick. So what? When this is for all the Afrikaans speaking people. Maybe Gareth, you can help and Ben, because I don't know Afrikaans like that. What do they say when they're like getting it on? What's like the sexy thing that they actually say?
It's all relative. I mean, Germans also, when they say stuff, everything sounds like a call to arms in Germany. So if you're trying to get loosen a bit of flesh out here, it's going to sound like you got to grab a rifle and run outside and kick a dog.
I remember.
I don't know enough Afrikaans. Maybe Gareth's used these lines while I'm clasping him.
There was this German porno clip that a friend of mine sent me, and he said this, and he had to explain it to me because I don't speak German fluently. But there's this German guy and this girl, and she's lying there, and she goes, "Ah, meine Mütze brennt," which means essentially my pussy's on fire. And then he goes, "Oh, hier kommt der Feuerlöscher." Here's the fire hose. And this is how Germans talk to each other when they're getting sexy.
So practical, huh? So practical.
Super practical. That's why I said that German weather girl that we saw earlier, she's definitely doing self-defense videos or something on OnlyFans. That's what she does.
Okay.
Yeah. Tracy says, I like it when you speak foreign to me. Well, there are a few languages that would sound sexy all the time. Like the French always sound like they're trying to hit on you, no matter what. If you're a girl and any Frenchman speaks to you, he probably is hitting on you, but it also sounds like he's hitting on you. And Germans, as Ben says, always sounds like they are going to blitzkrieg straight to, the Polish border to roll their Luftwaffe and the Panzer division right over the border. That's how it always sounds. Afrikaans, I think there is an overall unsexiest language. It's not really a language, but an accent. I think anything a New Zealander says just sounds terrible. It always just sounds really, really bad. There's terrible stuff coming after whatever they've said.
Because the Arabic. In Arabic, I don't think you have words for the subtleties of courtship and coitus.
No, it's probably really coarse and straightforward. I'm guessing. I don't know for sure. I've never really been serenaded. Chatted
anyone
up
been through Duolingo with Arabic? Let us know.
Yeah, if you can do that. So Congo Chris says, here's a sexy line in Afrikaans. Stamp my cookie frikkie.
Say what? After the cricket at Centurion tonight, I reckon that's going to get a bit of a run.
No.
Oh,
If
great.
there's one thing I'm so happy to be right now, it is Zulu, because I think Zulu men have mastered that art of courtship. But even when they speak, I wouldn't say Zulu's sexy, but they make it sexy because they slow down in how they speak. When they say Nkosazana, you have my heart. You have already Manyambos. And then they're like, okay, Nebisi. There we go.
How did they become such Lotharios? Because their background is quite murderous.
Yeah, well,
is that just is this how they used to contrast? Velvet tongue and sharp of spear. I mean, this is out of a
Parallel parking says Hitler made shouting in public unpopular. Shouting in public is unpopular because of Hitler. That's so great. New Zealand love noises. Bah, bah. Sheep, right? Okay, very good. Oh my God. Audrey says her favorite line is "Ek soek jou vleis in spuiting." That's so horrible. That's just so horrible. Yeah, I don't know. Some languages definitely built for courtship and sexiness. Other ones absolutely not. So something that we needed to get into this morning. Why are South Africans friendly in general? Because this is always something I've noticed, and Ben wanted to bring it up this morning, but every time you come back from a trip overseas, and if you haven't been for a long time, then let me explain it to you. It's very simple. You You deal with customs officials or security in an airport or anybody, passport control, whoever it is, in any country in the world, with one or two exceptions. You will meet grumpy, surly, miserable, unhappy, entitled, just generally bitter and resentful people. In South Africa, you could come through customs at 3 a.m, and the man or the woman behind the counter, 9 out of 10 times, look, there's always going to be a grumpy one here too, be like, "Hi, how are you?" And they'll be like smiling and friendly. And then the people at the entrance when you come out will be like, "Can we help you?" Obviously, they want to give you a ride home, and you've got to pay them, or they want to help you with your luggage or whatever. But people are friendly. They're not like that in the other parts of the world that I've been. Europe especially, not very friendly. So why do you think we are? Because it's not like we have easier lives.
It's not like we make lots of money in those positions either.
No,
Yeah.
no, exactly.
Yeah,
So
I've
what
always,
is
I mean, so like Daniela's in Italy at the moment, and she was telling me how she went to this town and like they got a bit lost and they wanted to get some information.
Mhm.
And people were just genuinely unfriendly. Like they wouldn't make space in a bus and they were just shitty. Like everyone just looks upset, but yet they live in this amazing place and it's summer. Like life should be pretty good. People from all around the world come there. But then the other kind of thought is, are people shitty because they're so tired of all the tourists? Maybe we just don't have enough tourists, or maybe if we had more tourists, we might become shittier. Is that also a point to look at?
No.
Like if we were only surrounded by people who are like asking dumb questions or, just here for Instagram shots, I still don't think would be the case. I think we'd still be friendly.
I don't think it's got to do with tourists. For example, if you go to any garage anywhere in South Africa and you ask for directions, even if the guy doesn't know, and 90% of the time he doesn't, where you're going and really can't help you, he still wants to help you. So he'll start telling you bullshit information because he really wants to be helpful. He wants to be kind. He wants to be friendly. And that's proof positive to me that it's got nothing to do with tourism or people getting sick of each other or too much of this, too little of that, resources, state of living, all that kind of, it's got nothing to do with it. People in South Africa genuinely want to help.
But is that because there's an element of downtroddenness in here? Is that because these people don't get respected by lots of people in different structures from government down? That when they've got a chance to actually be decent, they take it?
No, I think even during our darkest times, people have a sense of humor and they've got a sunny disposition. I think it comes down to like your disposition, the mood in South Africa. And even when things are extra shitty, and they are a lot of the time, you still find people who are just looking for the positive, smiling, laughing, making each other happy. This is what happens in this country. I think that's why people all over the world, when they come here, they always say that.
Yeah, but also it's instilled in us. I think of how I was brought up. It's like the basic things in life is you always greet when you walk into a room, and you always show respect to the elders. So now that I have that, I take that wherever I go. So it doesn't matter what profession I'm in, I'm still going to do that. And I think that's what we've seen with a lot of South Africans is that they've been brought up with a thing of treat the next person with kindness or how you would like to be treated, as opposed to overseas people who are, it's a different way of living. It's very different. And we're also just naturally funny people. We make a joke of everything and everything. Like there could be a gas explosion. 2 seconds later, there's a meme. People are already laughing.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been on the tube in London or in the subway in New York, you'll know. And those are two great cities, right? Two of the world's most well-known, most developed, most incredible, most diverse cities. People don't talk to each other. In fact, the last thing you want to do on the New York subway is talk to anyone in case they're like a complete lunatic. And there are a lot of mentally ill people who like sleep in the subways and all the rest of it. And you've got to be super careful. So people just don't talk to each other. They ride the tube. And if you're sitting there, you don't even make eye contact with anybody. You usually have headphones, sunglasses if it's a bright day and you're in train outdoors rather than the subway, but you don't talk to people. It's a bad idea.
Exactly.
So I'm not sure what it is, but I'm glad we tried it.
It is sad because we learned during COVID that we should talk to people.
Yeah.
We're not meant to be isolated. We're meant to connect. It goes two ways, right? You've got to make an effort. Some people are going to reciprocate. Others maybe won't be feeling it. Or if you're just really, really ugly, or you smell, or you just, not presentable, people won't be friendly to you either. There's also that.
Yeah.
But South Africans make fun of that.
Yeah, but
And
also
they
want to get
tell you
away from you
indirectly.
first.
Yes, they tell you indirectly. They're like, woo! Like when you open your breast, they're like, ooh. Yeah, and then you kind of know something is off, Or they'll say something like, you're going out looking like that. And you know something is off. So
Fair point. I like that we are generally friendly people, and I think we must keep doing that, no matter how irritated we are with what's going on in the world, or all the things that we could complain about, because we do like to complain, but mostly people are friendly. I think that's a good observation.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just talk about this as well. We were meant to wear our Buck jerseys this morning. None of the three of us are. We've got to set some kind of reminder on our phones or something for next week.
Is that a thing though? Is it like?
Yeah, it's become a thing. I saw loads of people last Friday. Yeah, they're all wearing their Springbok jerseys.
It is. I love the box. I love sport. I don't like wearing sport jerseys. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know out of all of us, I should be the one who has to wear it, and I apologize. I've let the team down here.
We've all got a
jersey kind of guy.
Why?
Look,
I don't know. Just I've got them. Just
I used to hate doing that as well. I think now I realize it's part of you just do your part. It's not it doesn't cost you a lot of money. For a lot of people who work in very strict corporate hierarchies, they have to wear a suit and a tie every day. It must be such a relief that they can wear something a little more casual on a Friday. That's cool. I can understand that.
That's cool.
I get to wear whatever I want anyway, so it's not a big deal. But I've always had a problem with belonging and being forced to be part of something, and never really been one of those people who's like, yay, the Springboks. It's not my thing. But I just feel like this doesn't cost me anything, and why the hell must I be a buzzkill? So I think I'll do it next week.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that people who might not be into it, like I'm going to go to the office now, and there'll be people that won't even be able to tell me who's in the team, but they're wearing the jersey because they think it's a cool thing. And that's great.
Cool.
That's really great.
Can I just say this? I know that the while we're wearing Springbok, that jersey is a bit expensive. In fact, all sports jerseys are expensive. Yes.
Cool.
But men, please don't wear them on a date. I do understand
What if
that.
the date's on Fridays if you wear?
No. I don't care. No. Can we please have decorum and not wear your favorite sports jersey on a date? Please. Wear that with the boys. Wear that when you're watching that. Wear that at the office. But don't.
Never thought of this.
No, I've seen it happen, and it's one of the things. It's like, yeah, but my top costs as much as your outfit. I don't care. I still look like $1 million. I got dressed up for you. Please do the same and not wear that jersey.
I think it is also like standard South African get out of jail free card dress, because you can usually wear it and all the other guys are going to be like, oh, you're wearing a Springbok jersey, and then they'll accept pretty much anything. But on a date, I think that's a bit lazy.
But also when your date goes, do you want to do something Saturday afternoon? Probably say no then. Well, it depends. Sometimes dating a sports guy is great because at least you know what he's doing in life. He's not got a second family. He's not selling fake designer vodka. He wants to fucking have a few drinks and watch the boys. Sometimes that's a decent peg in the ground, Simpiwe. There's filth out there.
I don't know.
She's looking for money. She wants to see the guys put in some effort.
So I've got a deeper philosophical question about this whole sport thing right now. And a colleague of mine at work, who is a far nicer person inherently than I am, he brought it up yeah, it's cool. The box, everyone's like, yay, box. But what about our other national teams? They try to do their thing, like Bafana, right? They've been playing recently, right? There's no one watching them. They're playing on a Tuesday. You know how that is? They're playing on a Tuesday. So my question is, you know what my answer is? The answer is no, because I'm very merit orientated. He said why do we only ever focus on the Springboks, and why can't we care about other teams?
Track record.
Well, my thing is like people like winners.
Yes.
I'm not going onto Netflix to find the show that no one's watching and going, you know what? People made an effort here. They got this together.
Yes.
I'm looking at what people talk about. I want to know. It's fascinating for me. I'm not going to go all the way through and go, oh, look at that from 2007. She looks rather unattractive. I want to watch that.
Yeah. But that's the thing with like the Springboks is that they've proven time and time again. They won it the last time. So even if I wasn't like I'm not into sports, but I know that fun fact is that they won the previous Rugby World Cup. So now
look at what happened. None of us gave a shit about the Women's World Cup of football until Banyana started doing well. Then people got excited for a while, and then when they weren't doing well, they forgot about them again. You have to perform.
You have to win. It's like if you imagine being married and suddenly you get fired or you got no job and you sit at home like sulking, like Bafana. And then your wife goes, this isn't going to work out. It's like, oh, what do you mean? It's like, well, you got to make money. It's like, oh, you like that, are you? It's like, no, there's no like that. It's like, this is a prerequisite. I'm going to support you. You need to be a winner.
Yes.
And that is sport, that is life, that is absolutely everything. You have to be a winner. You've got to bring something to the table. And people go, oh yeah, but Bafana's like up against, like, bullshit. They've got whatever the excuse is. If you were a football player, and again, and this is me in my sort of sporting utopia.
Just win.
If you're a football player, you got to get around and say, guys, no one cares about us. So what are we going to do? We're all going to move to Malta and get a visa, or we're going to actually make this something worth having. I don't know of any players that are getting a intervention together to either ask administrators or call out shitty coaches. I don't see these players getting together. I don't see who the Bafana John Smith is, the Bafana Siokalisi is. I don't know who the Safa Rassi is. These guys have to also make their own thing.
You know what? I think there's an even bigger conversation that comes into this. Sports, obviously, the catalyst, but how many people in South Africa just go to work and just do the bare minimum? How many people have something that they're making average music? They're writing average articles for the newspaper. They're just doing the bare minimum to get paid, rather than doing great work, and then they wonder why nobody cares about them. They wonder why if they take a week off, nobody misses them. They wonder why their husband or wife is kind of more interested in the sport than they are interested in them, because they've just become so ordinary and they've allowed themselves to be one of the, they're just doing enough to get by. There's no hunger, there's no drive, there's no passion for anything. It doesn't just count for sport. I wonder how many people are going to work this morning. Obviously not the people who listen to us, because they're definitely winners, but the people who they just get in their car, they're miserable going to work. They know they're going to have a shitty day. They're going to have to see their average boring colleagues. They're going to have boring water cooler coffee area conversations. You can go to their laptop and then sit there for like 6 hours just replying to emails and doing spreadsheets and God knows what else. And then they're going to get home tonight having felt like they've achieved nothing.
They're going to get home tonight and they're going to do spreadsheets.
But they won't even do that because like they're not even that into each other anymore. And you think about average, how quickly we set into entropy, how quickly we go into just being ordinary. A lot of people are like that, huh? So it's not just Bafana. I can imagine they're Bafana players who are like, oh, I'm earning a lot of money for kicking a soccer ball around. They're like, I don't need to excel. Why stick my head above the parapet? Because then I have to pull all these other people with me. It's a huge amount of effort. I'm already earning okay money. You think of like people in middle management and they go, I don't need to rock the boat. I don't need to shoot the lights out. I just need to do enough to not get fired.
Yeah, I mean, like in certain aspects of life, you want someone to just do something. Like it's great to have that little factor there. But in general, like, your life isn't your situation, it's what you're working towards. So if you get paid for something, it doesn't mean that is your sum total of your output. And I think that's the case with football and a lot of mediocrity.
It starts from
parenting,
parenting and also high school. So we had this conversation yesterday. And this is something we experienced in high school. It was like in grade 9. What they did was they put all the top achievers in one class. And then it was kind of like the top achievers was in one class and we went down. And what happened was the first 3 classes, actually, their marks skyrocketed. Like even the number one, who was getting maybe like 80%, she was now getting hundreds because the entire classroom was doing well. The ones that were in the lower side of the things, the failures kept on. In fact, they failing went down. It went from 50% to 30%. And it's that thing of like, if you're in a room full of like a top achiever, you're going to perform like 15% better. And if you're in a room with a lazy person, you actually 30%, it's decreased. And I think that's the thing, is that in high schools, we need to instill that competitiveness. And we're now trying to include everybody.
Absolutely,
everybody must be, no, we need to be competitive. We need
George Mienie says in the comments, and I think he's coming on just now, he said, there's no 7th place trophy. But unfortunately, we have started telling people, as long as you do your best, that's good enough. It's not.
No,
it's
your
not
best
good
is not good. You must know sometimes that your best is not good enough and you need to go that extra mile. Like you need to sometimes be like, damn, I thought this was good. And this is why like the top achievers do so well, is because they realize, I thought I was good, but there's better out there and I need to get to that better. I need to actually, and then you start doing it.
Well,
and it's not easy.
Beth says, Gareth, hearing you describe corporate like that reminded me why I don't miss it. Thank you. Oh, listen, I know that there are lots of people who are just trying to keep their lives together. They've got bills to pay. I know, I get it, right? And I'm not denigrating you if that's your situation. People have to survive, and it's fantastically difficult in this country to survive at the moment. So if you're doing that, I'm not knocking you for it. But I walk into some of these office buildings sometimes and I see like cubicles and people just with their heads down working, and I don't know how they do it, because I couldn't. I wouldn't last a day. I'd be finished.
Sometimes you just need a salary to do things.
Sure.
And there's all those people.
I get that.
That's great.
No, it's just you talk about winners, Ben, and you talk about when people get excited about something and whether we're going to wear the Springbok jersey or not, because we're genuinely excited about them. And there's like this movement you could feel like the whole country's behind something. When people are winning, there's a different energy in the room. When a team of people are doing amazing work, when they're creating great, brilliant projects, they're shooting the lights out financially, they're bringing in the sales, whatever it might be. You're in a crowd of people when that's happening, because you can feel it in the air.
So just to close off the whole Bafana thing, it's like, I think we shouldn't support them so that they realize like, okay, we really need to change something drastically. If we give them the, oh, shame, yeah, they're also cool and great and stuff, that's not going to help them. That's like when your kid is just stupid and keeps smearing cake into the carpet. You can't go, look, he's not going to be sporty, is he? But he's a good kid. No, he's a piece of shit. And you must stop doing that. So, yes. Bafana is a national football team who represents the country in the most popular sport.
Yes.
But they don't offer anything to the actual person out there who wants to just, because that's what sport is, right? You want to escape from your shitty life. You don't watch those guys and feel inspired. Kick a ball around for 90 minutes and no one really cares what actually happened.
Just get paid.
Sucks. That's cuck. That needs to change.
Thank God for George Mienie, because he's brought the team some Springbok.
There we go. George always brings it up. There we go. It's a new one. It's looking good.
Did you just put that on now? Did you feel pressured by us?
just literally, I ran when I heard you talking about it, and Ben was saying, no, you know what, he needs to make an effort given what he does. And Gareth, you said, I ran upstairs, changed my shirt. I was like, bugger this, I'm putting this top on.
There we go.
So you gave into peer pressure, basically.
1 in 4 South Africans care.
25%. There we go, Ben.
All right, George. So we missed out on you for a couple of days there. So you've been busy. Tell us what's been happening.
I took a couple of days off, Gareth. So I went down to Cape Town and I took a bit of time out and over my birthday, because
good. Happy, by the way.
Thank you. You should celebrate the day you were born, because you're still alive.
Right. Absolutely. I like that. That's a good attitude. I sometimes don't do that. This year I felt good about my birthday, so I'm with you.
yeah, it's good to celebrate your birthday. So you know, I'm healthy 99% of the time, and you know, I drank a little bit too much wine. I think went on one of the wine tours in Franschhoek, and you know, just
George, you have nothing to apologize for. This is that's why you work so hard the rest of the time, so you can have fun.
Exactly.
Good for you.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, so let's just talk about a car, because I'm so sorry, but the only car that's come up on this show for the last couple of weeks is the Bajaj. And we've been talking about it so much that we actually were trying to get hold of you last week while you were on holiday to find a Bajaj to put in the entrance at Cliff Central so we could all actually see how it looks and how it works. I don't know if you've got a contact in that department, but
they're mostly come in yellow. It'd be a great company car.
Yeah, well, so what we've done is since you guys have been kind of on a mission with the Bajaj, and you know, Ben Bajaj, I think that's his new name. We're attempting to. I'll be able to confirm by the end of the day. We're attempting to get a Bajaj next week Friday. I'm hoping I can get it next week Friday. I'm gonna, if I get it. Okay, so don't shoot me if I don't get it. But if I get it, I'm going to get it delivered to the house. I'm going to drive to the studio in the Bajaj, park it there. You guys can all have a look at it, and then I'll tell you my experience in driving this Matchbox.
Are you sure you want to risk your life like that, George?
So, George, I mean, you can do that, and then when you get here, we should have another thing. How many Springbok fans can you fit into a Bajaj?
0, 1.
But
you know, 3 of us in there.
You won't be able to drive it on the highway, right? So you'll have to use back routes.
Yes,
okay. You'll be leaving at like 3 a.m. to get there. But okay, cool. I love it. So the real reason I brought up cars is not to talk about the Bajaj, but to talk about this Mercedes Maybach, which is that something? Oh my God.
Yeah, so the Mercedes Maybach has this new bounce feature. Now, the real reason this feature exists is to get you out of mud, 4x4ing, those kinds of things. But people are using it for anything that is music related, funny, and using this bounce feature to entertain.
So what, the car hops up and down like a bunny rabbit?
Yep.
Yes. Absolutely like that. Have you not seen the endless? I've seen so many clips of this week. Because like it starts off, obviously people in Dubai, they go in the sand and the thing bounces and goes, and then you see the rest of the world at traffic lights, at drive-ins, drive-throughs.
Guys with their arms out the window.
You know what? Frankly, if you're paying the kind of money that you would for a Maybach, I mean, there are only a few of these things in the world. They are super, super luxury. I saw Simpiwe's eyes almost pop out of her head. Look at how the interior looks, Simpiwe. Look at this. That's some car.
But hang on a second. I think we're getting 2 different stories here. George, this feature, I mean, I can't imagine it's going to be in this car. Is it only on AMGs, only on Maybachs? Like which?
It's on the GLS 600, which is the SUV. This bounce feature. So
it's not the one. It's not the one Gareth's showing. He's ruining for us, George. He's showing luxury car.
But that car that you're talking about,
that's also professional.
That's not cheap though. And this feature, I mean, it's one of those things that some people will buy the car just for the ability to bounce.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So you're right, Gareth. I mean, this thing is £169,000. That's what the GLS 600 Maybach costs. And with it, you get a bounce feature to get yourself out of sand or to bounce at a traffic light.
Can you imagine a Bajaj bounce? and the thing is, the reason they have a bounce feature in Bajaj is to get them out of the bolt at the end of the road. Hey, wake up. Bajaj bounce. That's how you get the drugs out of your Uber.
Wow. Yeah.
Exactly
right.
Get
away from if you could bounce. I mean, you could also, in our country, it would be the greatest way to not have to pay a fine, because the Metro Police would say, just make your car bounce and then we'll let you go.
Exactly. I mean, Ben is follow the bounce, so maybe Ben should get a GLS 600.
Absolutely should. Yeah, I agree.
So here's the car. This is what it looks like, the one that we're actually talking about now. So that's the one that has the bounce feature. Very cool. All right. Well, you know what? You got to find, what is it? A unique selling point, a USP.
Exactly. Got to find a USP, and the Mercedes-Benz GLS 600 Maybach is one of those. I've got a Mercedes-Benz like love-hate relationship. I love the cars, but some of them have become a little bit plastic. Many of them are really, really nice and luxurious. But I think Mercedes-Benz is bringing the luxury back. It looks like the latest models of their cars are, they went through a stage where, I don't know whether they were trying to save the planet or what the interior was doing, but they went through this phase where it wasn't luxurious inside. It started to look a bit plastic.
Okay. All right, George, you're a very difficult man to please. What can we say?
What else? This happens. I mean, you also find sometimes they just have a shitty performance track record. Like you get certain generations that you know are going to be terrible secondhand sales because that wasn't a good era for a particular car.
Well, I mean, I think every manufacturer goes through those periods. The Bajaj is going through that from the beginning. So
Bajaj doesn't have eras. They just
really. Okay.
The golden era of Bajajas when the suspension actually worked. I get that one.
So moving swiftly along, Gareth, you had a listener. We had a listener ask a question about insurance a couple of days back on a RAV4. So the person, I won't mention their name, said they're an owner of a RAV4 E4 2.5 VX hybrid, and that they got insurance declined for this vehicle. So there wasn't enough information in the email, and we went digging. What are the reasons people would be declined for insurance? And unfortunately, RAV4 owner, and without knowing any more information, I would imagine that this is got little to do with the car and maybe to do with your history. Have you had a lot of accidents? Because insurance companies aren't going to decline insurance on an electric vehicle or a hybrid more so than they would an ICE vehicle. I didn't have any trouble insuring my battery electric vehicle. So there's something else at play here, and it's not necessarily the car. I wouldn't imagine a RAV4 is going to get declined. It wouldn't be in the market if it would get declined for insurance.
George, is it true that foreign nationals like Zimbabweans have to pay more for insurance?
I mean, I don't know the answer to that directly, Ben, but I would imagine that a foreign national with no driving history in the country would pay more. Like if you get a brand new license and you're 18 years old, you're going to pay more for insurance.
Okay, so track record.
What if this person with the RAV4 is just a perpetual accident causer and maybe a drunk driver, and maybe that's the reason they have been declined?
Exactly right. So, you could be, because you're becoming a liability to insurance companies.
Yeah, because there's there would be like a database, right? You would have this person blacklisted. Like Gareth's on there, because I mean his track record during his 20s are horrendous.
Yeah. I definitely pay more for car insurance than anyone else, and I deserve it.
Well, that's what I imagine. I don't know what's going on with the RAV4, but I would imagine it's got more to do with the driver than it has to do with the car.
All right, very good.
And that brings us to trivia, Gareth. And this time we have Ben on the show to earn points.
Okay,
you
let's
guys
go.
Have been so bad at this in previous episodes.
Oh my word! I once won.
You've been horrendous.
George, stand up for me here. I've been fantastic at this game. I've done really, really well. Some weeks I've
George has spoon-fed you answers.
Oh, nonsense. There you are. All right, go ahead, George.
Let's see how well you'll do, Ben.
Well, so what the team have done, and we'll reveal this all next week. What the team have done is we've accumulated the points since we've started the trivia, specifically between Gareth and Simpiwe. Ben will have to average your score because
that's okay.
Every show. But
you can keep me out of it.
Next week, we'll see the cumulative effect of Gareth versus Simpiwe.
I don't like that.
It's going to be a landslide.
No, George. You know what they say about broken clocks, George?
Go on.
Okay, here's question 1. What does GT stand for on an automobile?
Grand Touring.
Grant.
Oh.
Damn you, Ben. Got
There
to
we
shut
go.
up. Huh?
Well, I mean, if you really want to be Ben's half right. So if you want to have another go, Gareth.
Grand Tourer.
Okay, that's also half right. It's Gran Turismo.
Yeah. See, I like English.
Because the Italians came up with the word.
Next one, Simpiwe, you can sit this whole round out if you like. It's going to get very
Can Ben
competitive.
just play on my behalf? Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
I'm
Are there rules? Must you put your hand up? Hi,
No,
George.
do whatever you want. Fine, it's fine. Go on. You're only going to play this round anyway, Ben. You're not going to win.
Which country does McLaren hail from?
England.
There we go. Yeah, is right.
It is correct. It is correct. It is the UK. Whether England and the UK are the same place.
Simpiwe is getting all excited because Ben's playing on her behalf.
What is the world's largest automotive parts company?
That's a tough one.
They exist in South Africa as a clue.
Goldwagen.
Nope.
Midas.
Yeah, I don't know what parts are. You just hope someone knows where you could take it in to get
Minty's tires.
Minty's tires.
Simpiwe, you can get this one.
Can I? I don't.
Parts. Yeah.
Continental?
That's tires.
It's tires. All right. It is Bosch. You're going to kick yourself
Oh,
out.
of course. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It is Bosch. Where was the first commercially available? What was the first commercially available twin turbo? Which car had the first commercially available twin turbo in it?
BMW?
Nope.
Oh, crap. They definitely made it the most popular.
Audi.
Also not.
Commercially available twin turbo. What year was this? George?
Porsche. There we go. Simpiwe's got 1 point.
There we go.
Sipping awards, getting it right. Nice
Back
job.
Team of one.
I just need time to think.
And then this company has had a lot of firsts in the automotive industry. So which company produced the first diesel-engined production car?
Volkswagen.
Nine.
Toyota.
Comes to Simpiwe, you can get another point here.
Well, it's obviously Tata.
A judge. Everything's always the judge.
If it's not Toyota and it's not Volkswagen, then it has to be.
I don't know. Mercedes, maybe?
You got it, Simpiwe. Mercedes-Benz.
Damn it.
I never would have picked that up, yeah.
Simpiwe is the winner for this morning.
She was not the winner. She's come out of nowhere.
She's
Sat
like,
back.
come from
Dark
the back.
horse, late 8th.
So Mercedes-Benz had the first electric car. Mercedes-Benz produced the first diesel-engined production car. Mercedes-Benz have actually had quite a lot of firsts in the last 120 years.
Damn.
Very good. Okay. Very, very nice. I like it a lot.
I've liked today's show.
I'm sure you did. We end on a high note for Simpiwe. Very nice. Okay, good. All right, everybody. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you, George. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Simpiwe. And most of all, thank you to you for joining us. And we will see you next week, Monday morning, 6 a.m. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.